Hello everyone. Today we are going to start first chapter in the second part of statistics. The first chapter is probability. Probability actually is a method of estimation again. We have already discussed that in 12th standard most of the chapter we are going to learn are related to the estimation process. With the help of the statistical methods, we are going to find out the estimated values only. So probability is also the same thing. Probability is a method of estimation only. In the form of numerical values, we can find out the possibilities of occurring the specific event, that is called as probability. Now before moving on the probability point, we have to discuss some of the points related to the probability, some of the terms related to the probability. So we'll move on that part first. Afterwards we'll define how to calculate the probability also. Okay, so first of all, we know that in our day-to-day life also there are so many events occurring daily, right? Such events, they are classified into three types of events. One is certain event, second one is impossible event, and third one is uncertain event. Certain events are those events which will happen in any circumstances. Which will happen in any circumstances. So they are called as certain event. Like sun rises from the east, daily it will rise from the east only, right? There is no chance that it will rise from the west. So this is what called as certain event, what it is known as certain event. Okay, some another example we can get is, suppose that you have invested 1 lakh rupees in a nationalized bank at the rate of 7.5% or 10%, suppose that at the rate of 10% interest. So at the end of a 1 year period, you are going to get 10,000 interest on your investment. So this is called certain event. It is going to happen. It is a nationalized bank, so there is no chance of getting close of the bank or getting any problem in the bank. So it is a certain event. That is why I gave you the example of nationalized bank. If it is a private bank, there may be some chances of fraud in the bank we have. So in that case we cannot get the interest also. But in a nationalized bank, that kind of things will not be happen. Okay, so this is a certain event. Similarly, if a person, a seller we can say, who is getting profit of rupees 50 per unit which he sell, so he will get 500 rupees profit if he will sell 10 units, right? So this is a certain event. Then there are some impossible events available. Impossible events, like we can say that the fruit or any kind of thing falling from the top will go up. It is not possible. It will go down only, right? Towards the earth, right? Towards the land, we can say. So it means what? This is called impossible event. What it is known as impossible event. Okay, such kind of events do not occur. Certain events will occur in any circumstances. Impossible events will not occur. Okay, but some events are there for which there is a doubt that whether this event will occur or not. They are called as uncertain event. They are called as what? Uncertain event. And occurrence of such event is actually based on a chance. So such events which are based on a chance are called as uncertain events. What are called as uncertain events? Like The best example we can take is about the coin and the dice. When we toss a coin, we don't know whether we get at the top of the coin result head or tail, right? So that is uncertain. We can only predict it that I will get head, but at the end of this experiment what we are getting at the top, that exactly we cannot say. Surely we'll get any one result, but we don't know which is the result we are going to get. Either we will get head or tail. So this is called uncertain event. Similarly, when we throw dice, right? So at the top of the dice we will get which number, that we cannot surely say, but we can 100% sure that we can get number from 1 to 6 only, right? But which number we will get, we are not sure about it. So this is known as uncertain event. For such uncertain event only we are going to find out numerical value for chances of its occurrence, which is called as probability. What it is called as probability. Probability means it is one kind of possibility of occurrence of that event. So that is called as probability. So this probability we are going to learn. There are many statisticians who actually develop the theory of probabilities, like Fermat is there, James Bernoulli is there, Pascal, Moivre, Bayes. These are the different statisticians and mathematicians who have actually developed the probability theories. Normally these probability theories are developed on the basis of speculation only. On the basis of what? Speculations. That is called as betting, right? Or card games. Such kind of games on the basis of which only these theories were developed actually. Okay. So the probability or possibility of occurrence of any event we are going to find out in the form of a number value that we are going to learn over here. So before moving on that, now we'll move on the different terms available regarding the probability. One by one I will explain you the terms about these probabilities. Okay. So it is chapter 1, probability. First term is random experiment. The first term is what? Random experiment. The experiment which has the 3 characteristics that I will tell you one by one. That experiment which possesses 3 characteristics, that experiment is called as random experiment. The first characteristic of the random experiment, that such random experiment can be independently repeated under same conditions. It can be what? Repeated for any number of time under the same identical condition, you can say. First condition or first characteristic. Second characteristic, okay, about this, it can be repeated for the any number of time under the same identical condition. So we can take the example that tossing a coin. You can toss coin for 1 time, for 2 times, for 3 times, for 10 times, for 50 times, for 100 times. You will get any one result only out of the 2 results available, head or tail. So it can be repeated for any number of time under the same identical conditions. Okay. Second one, all the possible outcomes of this experiment. All the possible outcomes of these random experiments are known. That means what? Which are the possible results we can get? We are already aware about it. But which result we will get at the end of the experiment, we cannot predict in advance. Okay, that is what the third condition or second characteristic, that we cannot describe the result in advance, but surely we can say the possible outcomes may be out of these only. Like when we toss the coin, we know that there are only two possible results we'll get. One is head, second one is tail. So possible outcomes we know, we are aware about it, but what will be the result at the end, we are not going to get, right? So that is what the second characteristic. And the third characteristic, the result of the random experiment cannot be predicted correctly in advance. What will be the result we'll get at the end of the experiment, we cannot predict in advance, right? So these are the three characteristics. If it is possessed by any experiment, it is called as random experiment. Okay, so write down everyone, I will dictate you. First point, write down random experiment. Under this, write down the experiment which possesses following characteristics. Following characteristics is known as random experiment. Then below that, write down the first point, that is your first characteristic. The experiment can be repeated under the same conditions. Second, all the possible outcomes of the experiment can be described in advance. And the third characteristic, the result of the experiment cannot be predicted correctly in advance. For example, write down, for example, tossing a coin, throwing a six-faced dice, selecting a card from pack of 52 cards. Selecting a card from pack of 52 cards. These are the best example we can give when we discuss about the probability, remember, because the probability is actually based on these games only. That is why the best examples for the probability you can give always out of these three, any one. These are all called as random experiment, as we have discussed already for the dice as well as for the coin. Similarly, you can discuss about the cards also. we have already seen during the last year. I have told you during the last year in 11th standard that the permutation combination is actually useful in 12th standard while we learn or while we study about the probability. So this is what we are learning over here. That is the base we have learned in the 11th standard, that cards, 52 cards, pack of 52 cards we have discussed during the last year. And in that 52 cards, if suppose that I want a card which is a club card, then there are 13 club cards, out of which any one I can get. But we know that out of 52 cards, at which place the 13 club cards are available, we don't know. So we cannot predict the result in advance correctly, that this card is the club card, this card is the club card. But we have to try a chance, we have to take a chance that I will select one card from the top one, I will select one card from the bottom, I will select one card from the middle, right? And I will find out whether I'm getting or not. So this is how we can give the example of random experiment based on probability. Okay, now the second term that I'm going to discuss with you first, then I will dictate you: sample space. You can write the title at present: sample space. Okay, what is this sample space? So it is a set of all possible outcomes. What it is? A set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment is called a sample space. Now what is this set of all possible outcomes of random experiment? A set function, you know, that is denoted like this in the curly bracket. Okay, all the possible outcomes of any random experiment, if you write in this set function, then it is called as sample space. Like I'm writing over here the random experiment, tossing a coin. So we know when we toss a coin, we can get either head or tail, which I wrote in the set function. You can use H or T also like this. So all the possible outcomes of this random experiment I wrote in one set functions, that becomes a sample space. Throwing a dice. So we all know when we throw a dice, we can get numbers at the top from 1 up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Maximum, these are the results we can get. So it is written in the set function. That is why that is called as sample space. What it is known as a sample space. Okay, there are two types of sample space we have. One is finite sample space and second one is infinite sample space. These are finite sample space, a sample space in which the sample points, each outcome is called as sample point. This is called as sample point 1 and sample point 2, right? So each outcome in the set function we wrote is denoted with or known as sample point. So if the sample points are countable, what are countable or finite in a sample space, then it is known as a finite sample space. And if the sample points are not countable or infinite, it is known as infinite sample space. What it is called as infinite sample space, right? So now write down below the theory about this sample space, then we'll move on the sums regarding this sample space also later on. So write down below title sample space. Under this write down the set of all possible outcomes the set of all possible outcomes of a random experiment is called a sample space. A sample space of that experiment. It is denoted by S or U. It is denoted by what? S. S means sample space. U means universe. U means universe, means it is a sample space. All the things are included in the universe, we can say. So it is sample space. Okay. It is denoted by S or U. Generally, we are going to denote it with U. Each outcome in a sample space is known as sample point. Paragraph. Sample space can be classified into finite sample space and infinite sample space. Then below that write down paragraph. If the number of sample points in the sample space is finite or countable, comma, the sample space is called finite sample space. The sample space is called finite sample space. And if the number of sample points in a sample space is not finite or uncountable, comma, the sample space is called an infinite sample space. Okay, now don't write anything now. Now we'll move on the exercise available regarding this sample space. There are different terms available for which some of the exercise we have available, so that we are going to try to write over here, that we are going to solve. So there is exercise 1.1 available, you can see in your textbook, page number 14. Textbook page number 14, exercise 1.1. Question number first. State the sample space for the following random experiments. We have to write the sample space for the given random experiment. Like first one, a balanced die is thrown how many times? 3 times. Now see, I will write over here. We will solve the question. Exercise 1.1. Question number 1, under this first one, a balanced it is die given, but actually you have to write coin. Change it, change your question also over here. Instead of die, write down coin is thrown 3 times. For the dice, it is not possible at present to write all the outcomes. I will show you that also, why it is not possible. Now we know we are tossing the coin 3 times, means 3 coins we are tossing together, it is also called as. Okay, so how we are going to write the experiment? The first, you should know total number of outcomes, which is denoted as n. So when you toss a coin for 1 time, you will get 2C1 result. That means when you toss a coin at a time, you will get 1 result only at the top out of the 2 results. So it is called 2C1 result. And we are tossing second coin and the third coin. 3 coins together, first coin and second coin and third coin. So we are using the word over here and. Second coin also same, and the third coin also same. By mistake I wrote the sign also what we have to use. So when you use the word and, we have to multiply the outcomes. So 2 into 2 into C1 is 2. We have learned in 11th standard. 2 into 2 into 2, it is 8, not 6. So there are 8 outcomes we have to write. Which are that 8 outcomes? How it is possible to write now? How we can find out that? So don't write anything now, just now. Up to this, if you wrote, it is okay. Now don't write anything. I will explain you only just now. Okay, so see, when we toss 1 coin, the sample space we get U is equals to H and T. This is for 1 coin. Okay, I will give it a name as 1. When we toss second coin, again you will get sample space U as H and T, not together but separately. And when we toss third coin, again we will get sample space U as H and T. Now there are different ways available for writing the sample space of all the 3 coins together or 2 coins together. I want to write outcomes of 2 coins together. So it means what? First coin and second coin means we have to multiply this. What we have to multiply this? So for 2 coins, I will write a sample space U, that is HT into HT. So we are multiplying 2 brackets. You know, multiplication of 2 bracket means outcome of each bracket will multiply with both the result of the second bracket. So I can write now, it is H first result I can get, HT second result I can get, then TH third result, and TT fourth result. 2 coins together means 2 into 2, 4. So there are 4 outcomes only for tossing 2 coins. Now we are tossing 3 coins. So 2 coins outcomes, if you multiply with another 1 time, you will get 3 coins outcome, right? So I can write now the outcomes of tossing the 3 coins like this. See, HH, HT, TH, TT, 2 coins outcome. I will multiply with again 1 coin outcome. So that will become 3 coins outcome. So it is equals to, now each outcome we will multiply with both these results. So HH and H first outcome, HH and T second outcome. Now another outcome of first bracket will multiply with both the outcomes of second bracket. So HT and H, HT and T. Now third outcome will multiply. So T, H and H, then T, H and T. Now last fourth result, T, T and H, and last one T, T and T. This is the first way. This is your answer. You can write this answer. This is the first way. Another way is hierarchy form is there. Hierarchy form is what? The first coin when we toss, we get these 2 result. Now we are tossing second coin also with it. So I can show like this. Hierarchy HT for the second coin. Over here also HT for second coin. But we are tossing the coin for 3 times. So third hierarchy HT, HT. Over here also HT, HT, the third hierarchy. Now we will show the result. The first hierarchy. From that, first result I will get is this one, H H H, then H H and T. Then from this side, two outcomes from the one side we got. Now from the next side, H T H and H T T. Got it? Another two outcomes we got from this side. The four outcome we got over here, H H H, H H T, then H T H and H T T. Now next four outcomes we'll get from this side. What is that first one? At T H H, first one, then T H T, right, then T T H, and last one is T T T. This is the way how we can get the outcomes. So there are different ways available according to which you can get the sample space of tossing 2 coins, 3 coins, etc. Okay, so that is your result and this is your answer. And if you are using that same question, that tossing 3 dice, then how it is possible, or what is the number of outcome, don't write anything. When we toss 1 dice, we get 6, see 1 outcome, that is 6 outcomes, and the second, that is another 6, and the second, another 6. So it is, what is the answer you will get? 6 6 are 36, 36 6, it is 216 outcomes you have to write. That is why I told you that it is not a die, it is a coin. Okay, chalo, today we will end up the session over here. Remaining sums we will see next time and I will explain you next time. So thank you everyone, take care all, bye.